Welcome to another episode of Stogie from the Road. Hey guys, Stogie the trucker here. Excuse the noise, we're right next to the highway. But here we have it. The legendary Triple T truck stop in Tucson, Arizona. It's one of the last truck stops that still harbor the traditions of taking care of the American truck driver. You know, I made a post earlier this week in reference to my disdain for the new truck stops that are coming out and how they're treating us. And I say all the time how I feel about it. Some of you are up to speed, some of you are not. But one of the things I say all the time is it's not about the food. It goes deeper than that. We're losing a lot of truckers now. And you have to ask yourself why. Why are we losing so many truck drivers? Why are they wanting to leave the industry? Because what we do isn't normal. It's not normal to live like this. It's not normal to sleep on the side of the road and get a meal maybe when you can, and use the restroom possibly if there's one available, or sit in traffic when you need to desperately use the restroom. But I like to use an example that people forget about. And that example's this. Say you're a father or you're a grandfather and you're rolling into town to see your kids or your grandkids. What do you want to do? You want to sit down and have some semblance of a meal, have some normality, some sense of family. So you find a truck stop like this. You go in there arm in arm with the people that you love, and you sit down in a nice, comfortable booth, and you have a lovely lady wait on you and ask you all what you're having. You sit down as a family, and you're just normal for a little bit. Well, they're taking away all of that. And what are they replacing it with? They're replacing it with Arby's and Chester's Chicken and Taco Bell. The dining experience is almost the equivalent of a prison waiting room. Cold chairs. What's a truck driver supposed to do? Is he supposed to sit in the parking lot and split a box of Chester's Chicken with his grandkids? Is that what he's supposed to do now? See, these big truck stops, what they're doing is they're taking away our little bit of normal and not putting anything back. It would be different if their business model was one to where they would place it somewhere, but I've noticed that they're putting it right across the street from a place like this. That happened here. Pilot put a plate right across the street from this for the purpose of choking the life out of this iconic truck stop. They didn't win here. They're still holding on. See, what they're doing is they're taking away our normal, our little bit of normal that we have, and it's making drivers leave because they can't take it anymore. We go from place to place, and our fuel stops are also our lunch breaks and our bathroom breaks. All of it done in 15 minutes or less. There's no sitting down at the end of the day because all of these places are gone almost. So we leave. Now, I'm told all the time, shut up, you're not going to make a difference, you're not going to whatever. That type of attitude will get us nowhere. The purpose of this video is maybe to get people that are of influence in this industry to maybe smarten up, get people that share the highways and byways with us truckers to be a little more understanding with us, because they get to go home and sit down at their table with their family and eat tonight. We don't. This place holds a history. This place holds memories of truckers that lined up against the wall to get that payphone so they can hear the voice of the woman that they love saying, "I miss you." All the way down to that heartbreaking sound of their child going, "Daddy, when are you coming home?" "I'll be home soon, son. I'll be home soon, sweetheart. But right now, this country needs us. This country needs their goods." I say all the time, we do what others can't and most people won't. If we don't do it, who will? This isn't just a truck stop. It's a beacon of hope. It's a place where on Christmas Eve, that truck driver shakes off the cold and goes inside and knows that he's got a nice warm booth and a hot cup of coffee and a smiling face of a waitress saying, "Darling, you look tired. Let me get you some coffee." That's what we had. It's what we still have here. We have to hold on to it. We have to fight for it. Because what else do we have? Welcome to Love's. Welcome to Pilot. While somebody's texting. And we go get our own coffee. And we go put our roller hot dog on a bun. It's no way for anybody to live. You know, during COVID, you all said, "Thank you, truckers. Thank you for what you're doing." Did you know most of us, when we would get to our shipper or receiver, the only restrooms that we had was way off in the back part, as far as you could get away from the building. Dirty little porta john. I had a receiver one time I asked to use their restroom during COVID, and he looks at me and he says, "Number 1 or number 2? I said, "I beg your pardon?" He puts a roll of toilet paper on the counter and he said, "Go in the woods." That's the way truck drivers are treated right now, and most of you don't know that. Now, I agree, most of us truck drivers have lost our way. There's no denying that. And I harp on that just as much as I harp on this. This video is for truck drivers and not for truck drivers. This video is for you, driving your crossover or your Prius or your Tesla, getting frustrated with us because we take off too slow, or that you're worrying your way. You get to go home and lay in your bed tonight. You get to go home and sit around the table with the people that you love. Hell, you get to use a fork or a spoon and sit down at a table, but we don't. Now you ask yourself, why would we do it? Simple. If we don't do it, who will? You? No, you won't. You can't even stand being behind us in traffic. For the big corporations that like to choke the life out of these places, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. Because you say you love us, you need us. Hell yeah, you need us. Each truck puts upwards into $1,000 a day into their tanks, and you have us lined up the road, waiting for it. You shuffle us in and you shuffle us out. God forbid you put a booth in there for us to sit down. God forbid we have a nice hot meal and a smiling face to greet us saying, thank you, I'm glad you're here. We don't have that. It's all fading away. It's not about the food. It's about respecting an industry that is the lifeblood and the fabric of our country that makes civilized life easier for you. We bring things to you to make sure you have them. Most of you get frustrated if your Amazon package is 2 hours late. What would happen if you didn't get it at all? There is nothing that you have that isn't brought to you by us. So can we have this? Can we have this at least? You know, you big truck stops, little places like this, if they see you with a headset on and you look tired and they look at you with your cup of coffee, they'll go, is that all you got? It's on the house. You be safe out there. Loves, Pilot, you'll soak us for $2.60 all day long for a cup of coffee. After we put $1,000 into our tank at your establishment, day after day after day. Tonight I met a lovely lady in there. I believe her name was Mary. 27 years she's worked at this place. Sweet old woman. Beautiful soul. Told me about what this place used to be like, how the parking lot just glowed at night of amber lights, how the restaurant was full of laughter. Now it's a bunch of drawn faces with their headsets on looking at their phone, nobody talking to each other. It's sad. It's sad. But I saw 27 years of a woman with no regrets. 27 years of happiness that she did it. That she took care of us and that she cares for us. And that when she's out on the road, she gives us plenty of room. Knows how tired we are. Knows how hard we work. I'm glad I met her. I am. So folks, think about it. Just take a moment. Most of you are probably rolling your eyes, and you can give a shit. Because it doesn't matter to you. Because it doesn't affect you, right? Well, if guys like me and all the people I know and I talk to don't care anymore, there'll be people to fill our seats. But they won't care. They'll run up and down the road with no regard for your safety. They'll run up and down the road with no regard for you or anybody else around them just to get that load there so they can get that money. I met a great trucker this week when I was at Vernon's. His name's John. Extraordinary human being. He looked at me and he told me, he goes, getting that load where it needs to go is not your first priority. That's second. Your first priority is to make sure every man, woman, and child that you come into contact with, that you're around, gets home safely to their family. Our job is to make sure that we come after you, that we do what we got to do to make sure we don't hurt you. Do you think this new flip-flop, pajama-wearing bunch of jacknuts that are out here calling themselves truck drivers, which in actuality are just CDL holders, do you think they think like that? They don't. They'll cost you or your family or somebody you love their life. It happens all the time. But again, what the hell do I know? You know, he also told me this life is short. He said it'll be over before you know it. You're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be in your 60s like me. He said, do it the way that makes you happy, Sean. Be happy. Folks, I'm happy. I'm happy when I get just this little bit of history. I'm happy when I walk up to my truck and it's gleaming and it's beautiful. And those lights are shining bright and that chrome is shining and it's beautiful. It's a work of art in my eyes and I'm so thankful and so proud of it. That's the way I'm going to do it. This is the hill I'm willing to die on, folks. I'm never going to shut up about it. If we don't do it, who will? I may never change anything. Hell, John said you're never going to change it, Sean. You're never going to change it. But fight the fight. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. Him saying that to me. Fight the fight. Change one person at a time. That's all you can do. Change one person at a time. So if your driver out there begging you to dig deep and care again, don't come to me and say, it's not going to do any good, Sean. It's over. Don't come to me and say that. I'm never, ever, ever going to listen to you. Ever. Ever. Guys, I hope you're happy, healthy, loving and living life. And old Bonnie and I'll see you on the back home. Giddy up.